Sir, we'll be starting within 5 minutes, sir.
Okay.
Hello, am I audible to you clearly?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, shall we start?
Yes, sure.
Okay, sir. Good morning to everyone. We are here at our third and final session of our workshop seminar. Starting with a little introduction about our next speaker, Sir Somaditya Roy, who is the Assistant Professor of the IT Department of Techno Engineering College, Manipur, and also the President of the Institution Innovation Council of Techno Engineering College, Manipur. Sir, please take over for the final session.
Okay, thank you, Ritik. A very warm welcome to all of you. Right from the morning, you people are attending the session. So I try to keep it as simple as short as possible. So, at the first session, we talked about entrepreneurship as a career opportunity, and then we see that what are the intellectual property rights are there. So the basic things is that when we generate some ideas, when we come up with some innovative solutions and all, and then we design a solution and we create a prototype, and then we try to market that prototype, and therefore we need that intellectual property right to protect our property. But this session which I have designed, which is basically the missing link between these two, that everything starts with uh, that what we are going to solve. So let me first share the screen with you, the presentation. Is it visible clearly?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Okay. So this problem solving and ideation is the first basic step which we might take to become an entrepreneur. That means what is, so we all are engineering, you all are engineering students, or we all are from engineering background. So what is about the engineering thing? Is it just copying and pasting the same thing again and again? It's absolutely not. So no matter whether we try to become an engineer or we try to become an entrepreneur, the first thing we need to see the entire thing, that how we can make people's life more progressive, more easy. And therefore, and from that, this problem solving and ideation process begins. So first of all, what we can expect, what you can expect to get from this particular session. So we first try to discuss with some of the insights, like problem solving, that what is the problem solving, what does that mean, the problem solving. And obviously we all talk about that innovation and innovation. So entrepreneur, or whatever, whether you would like to start a startup, so the first basic thing is innovate. So innovate means come up with a very innovative or very unique solution. So what is that innovation, how we can design or how we can innovate, is there any such frameworks? So we will see that. And then that how this ideation process will begin, or how we can uh, start that ideation, how we can do come up with that ideas which we can later provide some exciting solutions. And we will obviously do some hands-on for this ideation thing. So let's see. So let's start with the first thing, that at the very first insight we can expect from this particular session is problem solving. Now, problem solving means comes with the problem. Now, problem. So we all, so whenever we have this term problem, we might get a little bit agitated, that okay, so there are a lot of problems and these makes our life harder. Now, is it bad? Is the problem is bad? So let's first hear it from you randomly. So what do you think? Is problem is bad? What do you people think? Anyone? What you think? Whether problem is bad or it's good? Anyone?
Um, well, I would like to say something, sir.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Actually, problem itself, whenever we hear this term, we want to
Mhm.
run away. But we can run away from the problem, but cannot run away from the consequences of it.
Right.
So that
Yes.
is ultimately we have to solve it,
So we have
and
to
that will,
we have to
yeah,
solve it. We have to face the problem, right?
exactly, yeah.
So no matter how bad it is, if we can't face it, we cannot be able to solve it, and we have to deal with it. Now, in entrepreneur's perspective, the problem is not bad. Rather, it's a good thing. Why it's a good thing? Because for entrepreneurs, problem gives you the opportunity, and there you can begin your entrepreneurship careers. So whenever you heard about a problem, that means you have whole lot of opportunities, because just the way ma'am said, that problem we have to deal with that problem. So we, when we have to deal with that problem, we have to come up with the solution. Now what if you provide that solution? Suppose I am facing that problem and you provide the solution, then obviously whatever solution you are going to provide me, you can charge me, you can take the, you can get the money out of it. So for the entrepreneurial perspective, so problem is basically gives you that opportunity. And what is the meaning of this opportunity? So this opportunity means is this effective or cost effective solution. So whenever you provide that cost effective solution or a feel good solution to your customer, you can make the money out of that problem. A couple of examples, if you talk about the velcro, you must heard about all those things. So velcro is basically a simple alternative of shoelace. So initially we all get agitated by the shoelace in our earlier days of schools. Now we have a lot of shoes with that velcros, where we just need to get rid of our strap and all. Then the clap switch. So we have to turn off our switch, and then we have to go to our bed, and during that transition we might get hit by our bed or some tools or something like that. So there is a unique solution of that particular problem, which is the clap switch. So same as the Gore-Tex, so it's an water resistance jackets. So basically, so when you think about a problem, it's maybe bad, it's maybe hard, but it's simultaneously it gives you the opportunity. So we all face that pandemic situation, so that's a huge problem. But in that pandemic situation, we have also discussed that in our first session also, that it gives us enormous opportunity. So the shares, first of all, the share price of the medical sectors raise like anything, that they come up with the solution in terms of vaccination, and they earn a lot of money, they make a lot of money out of it. Similarly, there are face masks and a lot of things. So obviously, no matter how big the problem is, the more you find the bigger problem, more it gives the better opportunity. So if there is no problem, then there is no solution, and then there is no firms to exist. No one will going to pay you to solve non-existing problem. That means if you think about a problem-free life, the world, the nation, and we ourselves as an individual cannot grow at all. So as a entrepreneur point of view, whenever we talk about problem, it gives us opportunity, so we must grab that opportunity. Now the thing is, so how to solve that problem? So is there any way to solve it? Is there any quote unquote algo kind of thing to solve it, that through that process we can solve that problem? Well, we have. So let's, so to approach a problem, first we find out the definition of that problem. That means we first need to define that problem properly. We need to understand that problem properly. And to understand it, our mindset should be like an explorer. So whenever we try to deal with the problem, we need to explore. That means suppose you want to start your career as an entrepreneur. So what do you need to do? You need to you need to look around yourself. You need to see, you need to talk to the person, talk to the individuals, that what problems they might agitated by. And that means your approach should be like an explorer. Now when you gather all those knowledges, when you have all the resources in terms of those their problems, you then approach that problem as a detective point of view. That means, okay, so there are a lot of problems, so what might be the root cause of that problem? Because that root cause is going to be your problem statement, and later you will come up with your beautiful innovative solution of that problem. So once you have that definition, then it's time to generate that idea. And this time it's you have to think as an artist. So this is the most creative thing, because you are trying to propose, you're trying to ideate a very innovative solution, because that is not exist in the market, that is not exist in the reality. So that's why people are get agitated by those problems, people are get heated by that problem. So you must generate that idea after you get that problem definition. And once you have that idea, once you have, you imagine, you brainstorm
Sir,
that idea. Yes.
so sorry to interrupt. Are you changing the slides because only one slide is showing in the screen?
Is that the slide naming problem solving?
No, the it is the introduction slide where it is
Introduction
written your
slide.
name.
Okay, then okay.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Now it is okay.
Now it's
No,
okay.
sir, it is okay.
Okay, so I might face some network issues. So is it fine now? Idea synthesis. Can you able to see this? Idea
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, yes, sir.
Okay. So after the idea generation, so after that creative thing, you find you generate a lot of ideas from your teams and all. Then you have to be the you have to be come up with your that engineering mindset. That means now you have to look at those ideas in a more rational point of view, more practical point of view, because there might be some excellent imaginative idea which might not get possible, which might not possible to implement. So then you have to synthesize those ideas. You might have thousands of thousands beautiful ideas, but that is not possible to implement due to the lack of knowledge or due to the lack of technology. So it's not possible. So then what to do? You have to synthesize those ideas and you have to filter out those ideas. And to do that, you have to be the engineer's point of view. So we all are engineers, and we must able to synthesize that ideas. So what is after that? Then the judgment, and that is a very important thing. Now the critical, it is one of the critical idea evaluation phase, and here you have to think like a judge. That means you have to determine what is the best solution for those ideas, and what is the best solution for that ideas. So here we are digging more and more and more, and we finally we have to be very judgmental about our solution, and then we pick the best thing out of it, and finally we have that ideas and solutions with us, and therefore now it's time to implementation. So here you have to act as a producer, because till that point whatever you have done, that is just a pen and paper work. So until or unless you have the implementation, there is no point of use of this idea. You must heard about a famous author who is Robin Sharma. Have you ever heard about that author, Robin Sharma? Mr. Robin Sharma. His famous book is The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Have you heard about that? Have you heard
Yes,
about
sir.
that
Yes,
book?
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So he once said a beautiful quote that an ideation without the implementation is basically a delusion. So without the implementation, you might have a lot of ideas in your brain, but until or unless you implement it, until or unless someone who's experienced that particular solution, there is no point of that idea. It's just a imaginative thing. So this is the process of problem solving. That means how to approach or how to approach a problem solving thing. That means how to find out a problem, and from problem to idea, and then the implementation. So if we try to see it all together, so problem solving is basically the overlapping of critical thinking and creative thinking. So you must heard about that critical thinking term or creative thinking term. So in creative thinking, we are more imaginative. We are changing. We design something. We try to create something. That means in our artistic manner. And in case of critical thinking, we are more rational. We are more practical. We analyze. We break down. We compare everything in the critical thinking. That what if, what comes with that, what comes with this. Now, problem solving approach is basically the overlapping of just two important things. One is the creative thinking, another is critical thinking. So both should be there together. The art, the creativity, the creative thinking, the designing, the imaginative excellence should be there, and you have to be very rational. You have to be very firm or very critical about that. It's like that your foot is in the earth and your mind is in the sky. So that is the problem solving. So the idea, whatever we are talking about, that basically starts with the solving the problem. Now, what is the problem? What is the problem? So problem is all about solving these points of pain. Now that is the most important thing, that points of pain. Now points of pain, what is that points of pain? It is basically what other feels. So it comes with the empathy. So it is the empathize. So you have to empathize. That means, so let me give you a relative scenario. Say you are looking at a street beggar from your window, and you find that in a rainy day he might covered himself with a piece of plastic sheet. So by looking at him or her, you might find that he or she is a very poor one, and he or she do not have any place to live. So you might design a house for him or her. But that is basically by looking at that poor person, you assume that he or she might have a problem with his living. But when you empathize, when you talk to them, when you talk to him, then you might get to know that no, he said that I don't have any problem with my living because I live in a bus stop or I live somewhere else. But what is the actual problem I'm facing? That is the food. So hunger is the problem. So that's the case. So here you have to empathize. You have to, yeah, or say you want to design the solution for the people who live in coastal areas. So they get affected by lot of typhoons and all, lot of cyclones and all. So you try to define, you try to come up with a solution for them, which might give them a feel good factor, or their life is safer. But by staying only in your city, in your three, four story building, it is not possible. What it requires to feel their point of pain. Then you have to go to that particular place, you have to live their life to get to know about their actual point of pain. So the idea, so when we talk about idea, it starts with solving the problem. But when we try to solve the problem, we must try to solve the point of pain. And to point of pain, you need to empathize. So what is the actual solution means? So it can be various things. It can be the new process to help us to do something better. That means you might come up with a new process, the existing process. So there is an existing process, and people might say earlier days, the mobile recharge process. So the mobile recharge process, we need to go to the so in the middle of night, we might run out of our balance, and we need to make an important call, but we cannot do it because the shop is not open. So what is the process then? That time the process is, we have to go to the shop owner, and then he or she will recharge our mobile. Then we come up with a new process, which is the online. So that is one case of one thing. The new way of using existing product. So a product is always there, but you are using that product in a new way. So that could be another case of solution. That means you can provide your solution in that fashion also. Then new service to supply to the new or existing customers. So the new services, so that services are not there. That initially when we use the WhatsApp, it's only a chat box, but later they keep adding the image, then the video conferencing. Now you can send the file. Now recently they upgrade themselves to send the money. So these are the new services which you can add, or which you can add in terms of solutions. So what is basically the solution? It is the new way of thinking about the things. So you have to think in a new way. That means the thing is already existed, but you have to find out what is not present there, or how we can make it more convenient, or how we can or what other feel good features we can add. So basically we are turning towards one thing, which is innovate. So that means you have to innovate. So what is that innovation? It's not the invention. So you know about the difference between the innovation and invention. So what is the innovation is all about, and what is the invention? So invention is which is a discovery kind of thing. Like, that is not present. Someone has discovered that thing for the first time for the mankind. So that is an invention. On the other hand, innovation is something else. Innovation is whatever is existed, you are improving that particular thing by contributing some innovative solution in it. So there are a lot of such things. So if you're still confused about the invention and innovation, so let me show you some of the examples, and that will give you a clear idea. So the inventor, so you heard about that Sir Alexander Graham Bell, who invented the telephone. At the time, the people are very much what I say. People are very much use the conventional post office thing and all. So Sir Alexander Graham Bell invented a new thing called telephone, where you can talk to we can talk to each other from the remote location. Similarly, Sir Thomas Edison invented a light bulb and the wheel. We don't know exactly who invented that wheel, but that is also an invention, that something in the earlier Stone Age, the people ideate and people figure out that if I create a circular thing and if I add it, so the friction is less, and by that process, this wheel is invented. Now, on the other hand, what is innovation? So innovation, uh, there are some inventors that means IBM. IBM invented the mobile phone. So telephone is already there, but that is wired. So IBM invented mobile, and now you can wirelessly use that telephone. You can roam around with that. So that is an invention, a innovation, not an invention. Similarly, the light bulb. So Olyang invented that LED light. So light bulb is there. Now he came up with a innovative thing, which is the LED. And Andrea Michelin, he invented a foldable wheel. So that is also a innovation. So let me go through a very quick short video. It's very inspiring. It will give you that how much you can do when you have some creative thinking, that how you can or just 1 minute, let me open it for you. Are you able to see this properly? Just tell me. Is it visible? Is that video is visible to
Yes,
all
sir.
of you?
Yes, sir.
Now you
Yes,
see
sir.
that wheel. So we all know about the wheel, which is invented way back. We even don't know what is the name of that actual person who invented that wheel. But this guy, how they have innovate that wheel into a something else. Now see, this is a wheel. You cannot imagine a wheel like this. Now see, these are the terms you need to focus on, that multitasking. That wheel, we know that a wheel will attached with a particular vehicle. Now here you can detach that wheel and you can use it in several vehicles. So that is a part of innovation. Then the space saver. So how to save that wheel or save the space of a wheel. So this is the point of innovation. Now see, this is the foldable wheel. Now you can detach that wheel from one particular vehicle to another, and you can carry it, and see, the term is the wheel in a new form. Now, my dear students, that is the main thing about the innovation. So it is that same wheel, but the form is a whole new form. So that is all about what we are talking about, the innovation. So is it are you getting it, what I'm trying to emphasize?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So is now the PowerPoint presentation is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then to become an entrepreneur, nobody is saying that you have to be an inventor. No, but you have to be an innovator. So that is the first thing you need to adapt. You need to change your approach so that you can innovate more and more and more. So what is that innovation? So it can be just like that solution, it can be different, or you can define that innovation in various way. It is new to the world, just like we saw that particular that beautiful video, that it is new to the world, that yes, we can do something like this in terms of will. It is new to the firm. That means whatever your solution you are providing, it's a new solution. It is the addition of existing product, that you add something in your existing product. That's just the way WhatsApp now, you can pay money through WhatsApp. It improves that existing product. It repositioning of the thing that initially maybe these days a lot of cars are coming with the engine in their back and the fuel tank in the front. So that is also a point of innovation. So it's just a repositioning of the design, and that will gives you some improvement. So it's new to the season. So, and obviously if you reduce the cost of something, so everything can be a innovation. So there is a sweet spot of the innovation. It's nothing but that what is an innovation. So you have these three things: that one, your solution must be viable, feasible, and desirable. That means these three things should be there. That is the feasible thing, that you are providing. You are going to provide a solution which is not feasible. It's not you. There is no point of it. Similarly, it's not desirable to anyone, and it's not viable to anyone. So that three things should be there. And if you overlap these three things, you will come up with a new innovation. So when we talk about innovation, whatever solution, whatever innovative idea, whatever innovative solution you are going to provide, that should be viable, that should be feasible, that should be desirable. So is innovation an opportunity? So yes. And what is an opportunity then? So opportunity is basically that it can able to attract people by the service, by the new thing, by the new solutions and all. So that is the opportunity innovation will create it, because the thing is not there. So whenever you come up with an innovative idea, there is always an opportunity to attract people towards your solution, and then you can get not only money, you can make something out of it. So it can be improvement of the product, it can be a new service, it can be a production thing, so it can be everything. So how to innovate? So look at the existing product and try to include something in that product. So if you can do it, if you can include some extra features to any other's product also, that I have created a product and you find something, some improvement in that product or in that service, and if you propose me, I can very much purchase that from you. So that is the job of the innovator. So innovator comes up with that solution, and when innovators see the commercialized aspect of it, he or she will become the entrepreneur. So ideas is opportunity, problems is opportunity. So ideas is only opportunity. So you cannot say your idea is opportunity. Like you have come up with a very beautiful idea that will going to send say human in the Mars. So the idea is very good, but you are not able to implement that idea or something. So then it will not give you any opportunity to improve your lifestyle or improve your entrepreneurial career. So what you need that whenever you have provided some idea and you have provided some solution, it should add value to the consumer. That means whoever the consumer is, that is the first thing. That means you are designing something from yourself for you. It's not the case. You have to design something for the consumer, whoever is your consumer is. It solves a problem. That's the main thing, that it should solve the problem, because we all already know that if there is no problem, there is no point of anything. And yes, it can make some profit. That is another thing. Opportunity, it should make some profit, and it's a good fit with your entrepreneurial team. Now that point is very, very important. Now a lot of you will ignore that last point, which is that it's a good fit with your entrepreneurial team. Now, whenever you try to become an entrepreneur, you have to work as a team. That's why in your engineering curricula also you find there is a project session, and in project session we usually told you to work as a team. Now, teamwork is very important because in a large perspective, it is not possible for anyone to do anything or do everything on their own. It's not possible. There are a lot of different aspects, and you have to be a good team to challenge those aspects. So whenever you try to think about an opportunity, or trying to think about, or try to start your entrepreneurial career, you have to create a good understanding among your team. So whatever good fit with the team, you can only then go with it. Otherwise you cannot do it, right? So how to start? So let's start that, how to start this ideation process and problem solving. So first, we need to gather the knowledge and the awareness. So that is the empathize thing. So we have to gather the knowledge, then we have to incubate it. So when we gathered all the knowledge of some areas we might focus on, then we need to think and think and think. So that is the incubation thing. That in that incubation, we more filtered that ideas, we more filtered that imagination and all, and then finally we come up with that idea generation thing. And once that idea is generated, it's a time to evaluate and implement the thing. So evaluate and implement is the very important thing, because without that, your idea is not going to give you any royalty. And only after implementation you find how much your idea is affected and whether it is at all implemented that way, which whatever you thought about. So is there any tool for that? That means, can we have any tool to generate this process in this idea generation process and all? So yes, we have a tool. It's not like a tool, it's a practice, or it's an approach, which is that design thinking approach. Now, what is the design thinking approach? It's a cognitive process. So it requires your experiences, your knowledge base, your throughout your approach towards the problem. So it's a cognitive process. So the more you gathered your experiences, the more you get yourself knowledgeable, the more you think more innovatively, more creatively. So it's a cognitive process. The second thing, it's a problem solving way of looking thing. That means whenever you look at a thing, you have to think in a way that you can able to solve your problem. It can be anything. It should be there in your character, in your approach. That means, suppose you are finding your mother is cooking, and she also faces a lot of problems while using those utensils and all. So you have to think, you have to see that particular thing in terms of that design thinking mind, that okay, what we can do so that that cooking procedure is more safer or more easier. So it's like that, and it's a iterative process. That is the most important thing. That means you have find out the problem, you go to your say your mother, or you go to your those areas of those coastal areas, and you talk to them, and you get the insights, and you solve the problem, and if you provided them the solution, and okay, tata, bye bye. No, that will not solve the purpose. That is not the design thinking phase. Once you implement it, you again go to them, you again ask them to use your solution, and you have to then wait for their feedback. So the feedback is very important. Say I want to have biryani. So you talk to me and you find that okay, sir is asking for biryani. So you make a biryani and you then give me the biryani and you go. But I find that there is no salt in it. So you have to hear it from me that, see, I need that biryani, but whatever you provide me, the salt is missing. So what you need? Then you need to again add the salt in it. if someone says no, I don't need I need that biryani to be a little bit spicy, then you need to add more spice in it. So that is that iterative process. So you have to go to your samples in terms of those users or consumers, and then you have to take the review and the feedback, and then you again react to this. So that is the design thinking. So if you see the design thinking phases, it's something like that. It starts with empathy. We already talked about that. That is learning about your audience, and then you redefine and focusing your question. Now that is the very important thing. We will see that the problem statement generation. So this problem statement, that means we talk about that detective mind. So you have to find out that problem, and then you need to start that brainstorming session among your entrepreneurial team, and you finally come up with those ideas. So once your idea get fitted with your team and your idea get finalized, you then try to build up the prototype. So once you have that prototype, you need to go to your consumer, your user, and ask them to use the prototype. So once you, and in the technical terms, there are two things we usually call it the lab testing. So say alpha beta testing. So there are a lot of testing phases, that releases. You heard about the releases, that the alpha release, beta release, and then the stable release. So these are the areas where we do the testing. So once you ask your consumer to use those things, use your solutions, and then you need to get that review back from your consumer, and then you need to react to it. So that is the iterative process. Now how to run that iterative process? So we have a very well-known process model. It's called the double diamond model. Why it's called the double diamond? It's nothing but at the time of empathize, we need to diverge, and at the time of define, we need to converge. So there are two space. One is problem space and the solution space. So in the problem space, we need to diverge and converge. Again, in the solution space, we need to diverge and converge respectively. So why we need to diverge? Because at the time of empathizing, we need to hear it from everyone. Say you are trying to develop some solution for the coastal people, then you need to talk to each and every coastal people. You need to go through every coastal people, that what is their problem, because not everyone have the same problem. They have different problems. So you need to hear it from them. Then when you try to define it, you need to include everything and define your one problem statement or one say insight for the user, that is what user is looking for, and that insight should comply with all the users. So that is the divergence and convergence. Similarly, at the time of solution phase, now in the time of solution space, then your entrepreneurial team will be there, and here everybody add their innovative ideas in it. It's not like that suppose we all are doing it, so I am only adding it and I am discarding your ideas. It's not like that. Everybody have that ideas, and everybody need to add that ideas, and then we need to we talk about that judgmental thing. So we need to judge, and we need to find out what is the best fitted idea in it, and then we need to converge it to our solution. So that is the double diamond approach is all about. So okay, so this is just an extension of it. So in the problem space, we can say that you have to go through these things, that understand that problem, observe the thing, and then point of view. So point of view creation is basically that insight creation of the users, and then you need to ideate, and then you need to come up with your prototype, and you go to that your users and ask them to use your prototype and take back the feedback and get the feedback and react to it. So this is how this design thinking process works. So there are 4 important pillars of that design thinking. One is empathize, then is collaborate. This collaborate is very important. So it's across the discipline, across the skill set. So everybody should work together. So work together in the idea generation phase, and then we have to include every ideas, and then we have to repeat, iterate and test, repeat, iterate and test. The more we will do that, the your solution will refine and refine. So that is all about design thinking. So it's a continuous process, it's an iterative process. Now here, as far as today's workshop is concerned, we are more focusing on that ideation thing. So we talk about that problem solving thing and the ideation. So today we at least at the end of this session, we at least have a very good insight, a good clear view about that problem solving, that how we have to deal with that problem solving thing. That means how to, what is the meaning of problem solving and how to ideate. So what is the ideation of the design thinking? So it is basically the building the customer empathy and defining the problem. So that is the thing. So that is the two important steps of this ideation. So we need to define the problem very clearly. We need to define it very clearly. There is a very famous quote from Charles Capring. He is the research head of General Motors company. So we all heard about General Motors, though General Motors is not or withdraw their services from the India, but it's a well-known car company across the world. And he stated that a problem well stated is a problem half solved. That means if you can understand that problem, if you can state the problem properly, that means your 50% job is done. That means the problem is half solved. If you can state the problem properly, you have to state the problem. See, when we have some physical health issues, we need to go to the we will go to the doctor, and doctor will keep asking us several things. Okay, say, is there any headache in your head? Is there any headache in your neck? Is there any vomiting tendency? Can you feel some disbalance things? So they keep asking us questions, and we either say yes, either say no. And by hearing us, he finally stated a problem. Okay, you have you have a cervical spondylitis, or you have a eye issues, or you have this. So that means if you can able to state a problem properly, that what is the problem that person or that user set is having, you can say that your problem is half solved. So you can approach for the solution. So how to approach it, how to do that thing. So for that, we have a very famous technique. What we call is how might we. So whenever you try to do that ideation, you need to practice to write the thing in that way. Now, if you can write it in that way, that how might we, then you can find out that how you are approaching towards the problem. Or so let's see what is all about, and we have a sufficient amount of examples for that. So here, what is how is we are not suggesting the solution, right? That is important thing. We are not suggesting the solution, but what we are doing is we are basically conceptualize that thing, that we are not suggesting a definite answer, but that what are the concept that we need to include in our solution, that what are the things we need to touch in our solution. Then might is emphasize the possibilities, that there could be lot of solutions. So that means here we cannot discard anything. Might, that you might do that, you might do this, you might do this. That means your entrepreneurial team, everybody can input their own ideas in it, and this frames the problem that can only solve through collaborative problem solving and the teamwork. That is the main important thing, that your entrepreneurial team, that we refers your team, that you cannot bypass your team, that how might I will do the all thing and I don't hear it from you. So if you go through this, it's not possible to solve any problem. It's not possible to come up with a very beautiful solution either, because you have only one brain. So you have to include a lot of brains. So let's see some of the examples of it. Say the problem statement. So now these days, you know about the Swachh Bharat mission, right? So government of India investing a lot of money in it. So what is the problem? If you figure out that problem, so we might think about this, that user often unsure about that hygiene. So that is a problem. So what we can also, how to write that, how might we think? So the one how might we think is, how might we redesign public toilets in India, right? So that is one how might we. Now, is it sufficient? What do you think? Is it sufficient? Let us hear it from you. Anyone? Is it sufficient? Can you have any
No,
idea? Getting yes, please.
no, sir.
Why not? What problem you find it? What is the problem in this generation? How might we generation?
Because most of the time I have seen that it doesn't maintain the hygienity.
That means this particular statement is very vague, right? That redesign the public toilet. No, hygiene is fine. So you know the problem. Now, when you write down the how might we, that statement, in this example, this is very vague. That means it's very broad. That means public toilet. So redesign means it could be anything. It could be anything. You can expect whatever ideas. It includes whatever ideas. So if you write down such a broader or such a vague thing, then you will get a lot of different ideas, and that ideas can beyond your imagination. So we will not do that, right? Because this is too broad. So what we will do? Okay, so then you write another how might we create a doorknob for Indian public toilet that is clean, safe, and invites user in. Now, what happened to this statement? Now, in this case, you are more specific, that the focus is, it's like that focus is on the doorknob. That means you might think that the hygiene issue is only related to the door. Isn't it so? So it's a too narrow thing. That means when you give that how might we think to your entrepreneurial team, they will focus on your door. Now see, you have to understand one thing, that if you look at the first statement and the second statement, first statement is very broad. That means if I ask you to redesign that public toilet, maybe somebody start with the paint, what is the color of the paint in the toilet, or whatever the design, it looks like a, say, capsule, it looks like something this. So that means we are basically depreciating from the actual problem, which is hygiene, right? So it's very broad. So we cannot write something which is very broad, because we have to hand it over this statement to our entrepreneurial team. Similarly, in the second statement, it is very narrow. If I give you the second statement, you all will focus on only the doorknob and the door. So you all will think innovatively, but only to provide the solution which is related with the door or doorknob. It's too narrow. Now, what is the second statement? The third statement say, how might we create a real sense of safety in public toilets? Now, it's a justified thing. Now, if I give you the third statement, and if I ask you to provide the solution, to provide solution means not solution, ask you to provide your idea, you then think about the safety of the public toilets, and that includes whatever safety comes in your mind. That could be one, that could be many. So this is how you can generate how might we problem statement. In my heading, it's wrongly written. Okay, it should be HMW. So it is just right. That means here you basically referring the actual problem. So out of this three statement, if I give first statement to a entrepreneurial team, they will come up with lot of different ideas. That is for sure. But those ideas is or we can see that 50% of those ideas are not justifying the safety thing. If I give the second statement to my entrepreneurial team, they will concentrate about the safety, but only which is related to door and that. But if I give the third statement to my entrepreneurial team, they will include all the safety features in the in the public toilets, right? So this is why this how might be statements is so important, right? So there are a few tips to write down the effective how might be with the examples, so you can see this. So what the first thing is, start with the problem you have uncovered. That means first you need to find out that problem, and you need to start with that problem, that because that is what you are going to solve. So user aren't aware of full product offering. So what will be your how might be increase awareness of full product offering. So that is your first and foremost thing. So you find out that problem and you write that how might be thing. So what is your job? So when you try to generate your idea with your team, you need to write down this how might be thing. Okay. Now second is avoiding the avoid suggesting the solution. That means here you cannot suggest any solutions, because even if because the moment you provide the solution, our tendency will be focused on that particular solution. Then whatever idea you will getting, that is based on those solutions. So don't do that at all. So here the insight is user are often unsure about which form to complete when they file their taxes. So they don't know that whether it's ITR 1 or ITR 2, what form we will fill. Now, what you have right, that how might we tell user which form to complete to file their taxes. Now, what happens if you give that statement to your entrepreneurial team, they will focus only on the form. So that's a poor thing or the poor construction. Rather, you will say how might we make user feel confident that they are able to fill their tax correctly. That means here your entrepreneurial team provide a solution where it is not based on any forms or any particular thing. It's everything. It's based on everything. So that's the difference. So are you getting the difference? Are you getting it? Are you getting the thing that how to construct this? How might we think?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the fourth step is focus on your how might be on the desired outcome. That means problem user often calls us that they are unable about that application process. And what you did is how might we stop users from calling us. Now, if you do that, your company that no user, you will find that no user in your company because you are avoiding their calls. So that should not be that. So what it should be this, that you have to make user confident so that they don't need to call you, right? So that's why this FAQ is there. So you will find that FAQ in all the applications and all the websites. So FAQ, why these FAQs are there? Because whenever you deals with some problem, you have FAQs, you have the bots, so they will give you all the information so that the user will not going to call you. So that is what it all about. And phrase your how might be question positively. So the positivity is very important. That user find the return process difficult. How might we make the return process less difficult? It's not that. You have to do this, that how might we make the return process quick and intuitive. That is, you have to, less difficult is not the case. You have to do the positive thing, that what steps I need to address. So this is how you can do this, how might we think. So what actually happened? So once we have all the how might we think, then we handed over the entire thing to our entrepreneurial team, and they will work in it, and they will create lot of ideas and all, and then we finally prioritize that, and we will finally come up with a idea including all those things. So it's already 4 p.m. but let me ask you for a few more minutes, right? Maybe 10 to 15 minutes, just to give you an idea that how to ideate. So
Yes,
I
sir.
know
Yes, sir.
that, yeah, yes. So can I ask you to give me 15 more minutes?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir. You
Sure.
can. You
You're
can.
interested?
Yes, sir.
Then we can
Sure.
proceed. Okay, okay. So we will do a simple thing today, right? We will do a very simple thing. So we suppose I have finalized, we have finalized a particular how might we think, which is going to a very easy thing. Now here it is, how might we improve the wallet or purse in a manner that positively impacts people and the environment. So what do you need to design? So the problem statement is, we need to design our wallet or purse, right? We all have wallet and purse. So we can empathize what are the problems. We all can empathize. The purse size is bigger, or say when we put a lot of changes, it's very inconvenient to hold that purse or hold that wallet in our pockets and all. So we can empathize this. So that is the how might we think for today's session. So how to generate that idea? So we can generate it basically. It will be good if we are right now we are together, because the process is something like that. But still, let's try that what we can do. So first thing, or you can practice this on your own by creating an entrepreneurial team. So what you'll do is, first, suppose you finalize that thing. So then in your team, just choose a choose a facilitator. Okay, so what is the job of that facilitator? So the job will be this, that he or she will going to hand out the post-its to everybody. That means the sticky notes, the sticky notes. So here today, for the today's session, we don't have that sticky notes. So you have to do it on yourself. So just take a pen and paper with you, and then what you will do, quickly write down your ideas, whatever your ideas are, that will improve that wallet. It could be anything. It could be that it could be starting from your branding to how many compartment in the wallet, with how many compartment, how to keep your credit card, how to keep different type of notes, how different type of currencies, how to keep say changes, whatever you can think about, putting the lipsticks and all those things, whatever it can be. So just do that thing. So I will give you 10 minutes time just to ideate. And for this ideation, what you will do, you don't need to talk to each other. So that's the first basic thing, that you need to ideate on your own. Don't talk to each other. Just take a pen and paper, just take out some notes, note down the points that my wallet or my purse should need that, or should have those things. So, and just try to innovate, just try to do it. Okay, for that I will give you 10 minutes time. Okay, so after 10 minutes I will give you the next task, what you need to do. So you are going to do that? Come on, I can't hear it from you. Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just note it down. Just note it down. Let's take 10 minutes. So let's say 5 minutes. Chalo, 5 minutes. So at 4:10, I will give you the next task. So this is the process. So I'm just going. I'm just take you with me through the process, that how to do the idea generation thing. So whenever you try to generate your ideas later, you have to follow that process. You need to first finalize your problem statement, then how might we think, then you have to do these things. You have to choose one facilitator, then you have to give the post-it to everybody. They will write down their innovative ideas in that pen, in that paper. So let's wait for 14. And in the meantime, if anybody has any queries in their mind, they can ask me. The session should be interactive, right? It's not like You have to only hear it from me and no reaction from your end. Is my presentation is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is your how might we think, right? Okay, once anyone complete that first task, he or she can just inform me. Then I can give you the next one, next thing to do. Don't write many things. Just write down the known points that see my wallet need say 5 compartments for different currencies, different compartments for currencies. I include something that, something this.
Sir, I have an idea.
Yes. So if you have idea, just keep it to yourself right now, right? Okay, Srija. So
Okay, sir.
don't discuss with your team right now. So here we all are actually working as a team. Now in that entrepreneurial team, we have 85 members, and we 85 members are equally important for generating that ideas. So right now what we will do is we will not bias us. Okay. So we just silently write down our own ideas in a paper. And whatever we are doing right now, you have to do that at the time of when you will try to generate that idea. So this is how the entrepreneurial team generate their idea. So that is that ideation process we are talking about right now. We are living right now. So at least try to write down 10 ideas, right? Or at least 8 to 10 ideas, or it can be many things, but at least try to write it down. That 10 different things or 10 different ideas. 10 different innovation on your wallet or on your purse you like to do. Okay, so once you I think that many of you have already write down their ideas. So now what you will do is, suppose you have, so I hope you have at least 8 to 10 ideas in your hand. Now you have to prioritize those 8 ideas, or rearrange those ideas, or pick top 5 ideas. So you have to pick top 5 ideas out of it. Top 5. You have 10 ideas, idea 1, idea 2, idea 3, idea 4 and all. So just pick top 5 and just take a note or put a note beside those ideas. That means suppose idea number 1 is your topmost idea. So put that is top 1, and then idea number 3 is your second top idea. That means top 2, and so on. So you have a lot of ideas in your mind and you note down those ideas. Now what you will do is, out of those ideas what you have written in your paper, you now prioritize your idea for picking top 5 ideas in it. That means you are filtering your ideas itself. That means you think that, okay, a lot of things are there, but I have to include these 5 ideas, or I have to include these 5 things in my wallet. Basically what you are doing, you are empathizing the thing. That means if I have a wallet, if I have a purse, then I must have these 5 features in my wallet. So that is the empathize thing. That means you yourself saying that this is what my wallet looks like, right? So once you do this, let me share a link with you, right? So are you getting that? Did you get that link in your chat box? Did you get it in your chat box?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So just open that link. It's a very easy link. Okay, it's a very simple link. So just you can see what is there in that link. What is there in the link? Anyone tell me? What is there in that particular link?
Sir, about the ideas, sir. Top 5.
Ideas. So that means you have a lot of ideas. So you have to put the ideas according to your priority. That means your top idea, top 2 idea, top 3 idea. That means idea means whatever you think your purse or your wallet should have. So just quickly fill it out. Don't need to write a lot of things. You can even describe it within few points also. Say different compartments for currency, say exclusive compartments for this, or you can describe it whatever you like, but prioritize those ideas. That means the top 1 idea should be that idea which you need most. Then top 2 is the second top 3 is the third top, and so on. Just quickly fill it out. Okay, I find there are already 2 submissions there. Ritik and Devrup have already submitted their ideas. Devrup Mukherjee, are you there? Devrup? Devrup Mukherjee, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, so have you go through the how might we think?
Yeah, I know that you have told many of the things, but in my mind there is.
Yes, I think you didn't get the thing, because whatever idea you have provided, if any entrepreneurial team get it for this particular how might we think, if you get those ideas for this thing, so you know how to react to it, right?
Sir, as you have said, I am not going for the entrepreneurial idea. I am basically doing this because I want to become that. So therefore, I have given the answers.
No, that answer, whatever answer you have provided, you know what answer you did, you put over there, right? So it
Yes,
should be
sir.
comply with the question, right? Suppose somebody says that uh, somebody asks you some question that what is your name? So you have to give your name, right? Otherwise, what happened? Anyway, I'm not going to share those ideas with anyone, obviously, but it's a practice. Why we are doing it? Just to realize, just to live the life as an entrepreneur. That means not only the entrepreneur, forget about that entrepreneur. That is the first step for anything, for doing the project also. That how to generate that idea, because entrepreneur is much bigger term. First you ideate, then you create, then you marketize everything, then you become the entrepreneur. So even if you want to become an engineer, you need to ideate, right? So this session is for that. Okay.
Rai
So
Sab,
yes,
hello.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, you have nicely explained everything,
Sir,
but
just give me 5 minutes. I'm just about at the end of the session, so then I will get back to you. Just allow me to give 2 minutes, sir. Can I proceed, sir?
yes, you can complete it.
Okay. So a lot of submissions are there. So what we will do next is, so till that point we choose our top 5 ideas. Now from this now onwards, we need the job of the felicitator is much more important. Now we will continue that in later. I will provide you the thing. So what happen is, now as I get all the ideas, now I will put those ideas in front of you, but that is anonymously. That means nobody is going to know what is, whose idea is this, right? So all the ideas will be there. So after this, what happen is, so all of us will get a 10 voting rights, let's say 5 voting rights or whatever. Now we will vote those ideas. Like say I say you don't know. One idea is that transparent compartment will be there. One idea is the a compartment for change will be there. The logo or the material of the purse will be some eco-friendly. So these are the different ideas, and we don't know who provide that ideas. So we will vote those ideas, but we have a limited amount of voting thing. So we have 10 votes. So we can put the votes on it. So in when you practice it in a blackboard, you will have all those sticky notes of those ideas, and you one by one go to those go to the blackboards or boards where the sticky notes is there. Just read that idea and give the vote. If you really like an idea, you can give 4 vote, 3 vote, 5 votes, all votes in those ideas. And then finally we will rearrange the idea as per the vote. That means we are prioritize the idea. So at the end of this whole process, now obviously from process 5, 6, 7, it's not possible right at that moment, because there is some filtration will be required. So I will try to provide it the link where you can vote it down. But at the end of this entire thing, what you have is, we started that, or we brainstorm the idea from each of one of us. That means we are 86 people here, and then we ourselves filter the ideas, and we said that no, this 5 is the major ideas which I think my purse should have. And then when we anonymously post it, there is no biasness in it, and everybody can see those ideas and provide the voting in it, provide the votes on those ideas. So after the voting, what have we all have finally prioritize all the ideas that say X idea get the most votes. So that means that is what our entrepreneurial team treated idea. I think you remember there is a thing called fit to the entrepreneurial team. So then at the time of solution, we must focus on that first idea, then we try to include the second, then third, and so on. So this is how this ideation process will work. So that's all for today's session, and I will, once I get all those ideas, I will filter those ideas and I will put those ideas, and I will share the links with all of you to provide the votes, and then we will finally find out that for this particular problem statement, which is how to improve our wallet, our entrepreneurial team of these 85 people, what we think that what are the things which we need or which we want to see in our wallet. And obviously, if we develop that, we all 85 people will looking for that particular wallet, because everyone's requirement will be satisfied. So that's all for today. So now I'm ending the session here. If you have any question, you can ask me or you can mail me at this mail ID. So over to Ritik, and sir, over to principal sir. Instead, sir, you are saying something, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. So sir, please go on.
Thank you, Raisa. But the thing is that whether the students are there or they have already left. Hello.
Students are there.
Sir, they are posting the
Yes, sir, we have-
ideas, sir, and I'm very excited about.
But I shall take few minutes. Hello. I shall take few minutes. Here where I am staying, the temperature is around 8 to 9 degrees centigrade. Okay, so I am wearing the warm clothes. This is experience.
Yes,
but
sir.
whenever we are going to the fighting planes, you see the plane has already been in aerospace, right? And after that, what is happening? You have generated the supersonic plane, the fighter jet, then the 3 times, and now you have developed the air force.
Yes, sir.
So right, these are the generation of the idea. Now they are going for sleep with the 6 times powerful the sound, right? And same thing is for the communication systems. So you see that in communication systems, we are just talking over the telephone and other things. So now the satellite has comes, and now they have developed in the such an radars and other things, by virtue of which with the beyond our Earth, beyond our orbits, they are trying to capture the informations. So this is called the innovations actually. The idea has been developed when I shall face a problem. The how to solve that problem. That the problem can be solved by my knowledge, by my skill, by my experience, and my study. These all factors come together to generate an idea. Suppose this is one side, another side a cultivation says it. You see the earlier plowing systems and now the cultivations has already together. You are using the artificial intelligence in the case of your cultivations. And you see you have an idea, I don't know, the 1 bigha, you see the 1 bigha or like this where in 1 acre, now the production is the 3 times than the earlier 20 years ago. All these have generated from the ideas how I shall develop the product with the quality, with the minimum economic and the betterment and easy to handle. These type of things you must have to develop for the betterment. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Right.
Thank you very much.
And I just want to add one thing with whatever principal sir says, that don't limit yourself. Just think as innovative as possible. Don't think that whether your idea is good or bad. Just put that idea and then you refine yourself. So now I hope that you all can have some insight that how to approach, how to address this problem solving and ideation. So if you have any further queries, you can ask me. So over to you, Ritik, and just ask them that whether they have any queries or not. I'm here to reply them. Otherwise, we can conclude the session.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So anyone has any query? Sorry. Anyone? See any questions? So I think they have no questions, sir. Means they're all thanking.
Okay.
Hello, sir. No, sir. No questions, sir. I guess.
Okay.
Then
So
thank you,
then
sir,
we
for.
can conclude the session. So, okay, over to you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful session and for giving us such valuable information. And we have got to brainstorm many ideas in such a short time about the wallet session and others. So now, like we are at the end of the session, so I would like to call Sitama for giving the vote of thanks. Sitama, it's over to you.
Yes, Ritik. So we are very reluctant to be a part of this part of this program, and also this is called workshop, and as well as hosting this program too. And I think every one of us enjoyed this workshop a lot. And thanks to IIC Technology College Panipur members to introduce this kind of such valuable, knowledgeable workshop for students, and because it will help us in future a lot. And I would like to thank our respected principal sir, Dr. Molay Kumar Chandru, respected Tapan Mukhopadhyay sir, IPR Innovation Ambassador, respected Shubhankar Bhattacharya sir, IIC TECB President, respected Shomaditya Roy sir, Administration Officer, respected Shumanta Chatterjee sir, and our convener, respected Roshni Chakraborty ma'am, and all the Techno Engineering College Panipur members. And last but not the least, all the students. So a very well day spent with you all, and I hope we will get some more opportunities or more this type of workshop in future, and this type of some amusement work and this type of knowledge sharing activities helps us to boost our livings towards engineering department. So thank you so much, all of you. And now I would like to call upon Ritik to conclude this event. Ritik, over to you.
Yes, Sitama. So now we are at the conclusion of the of today's workshop session. So for now, I'd like to conclude. For the IC, the Institution Innovation Council, the primary mandate of MIC is to encourage, inspire, and nurture young students for supporting them to work with innovation ideas while they are in formative years, means in development days. And we are honored to have such a lovely opportunities to give our ideas and innovation to the world and also been able to express our ideas to different departments. Now, after having such a wonderful workshop, we will be looking forward to have another session in the near future and thus ending our session here. So now all the students are requested to fill up the feedback link in the chat box. I hope most of you have done it. So those who didn't, please do it and you will receive the e-certificate shortly. Thank you for your support. Goodbye. Take care. Be safe. See you next time. Thank you.